Hello everybody and welcome back to the VCT Verizon Game Changers. It is day 3 of the event and we have a huge day of competition coming up. I am your host Yingsu, and as you guys can see, joining me today are your casters, Tana and Sam. Welcome back everybody. Tana looking very dashing in blue there. Great color choice.
Thank you. Yeah,
y'all think you're so slick.
we had to. We really tried hard, and I apologize. I don't have the palette to really make it work between all three of us, so we made a nice little sandwich.
My entire wardrobe is black, okay? So y'all had to like fit in with me, and you know what? I'm okay with that.
We did try. I think we look great. The color coordination works. But now, of course, the three of us would not be here today without the Game Changers initiative. Game Changers is designed to provide experience and spotlight to elevate the women in the VALORANT competitive community. Competing in games as a woman can be a daunting task, oftentimes resulting in a very real competitive disadvantage. Starting this month, the Game Changer series and the Game Changers Academy will create a whole new set of competitions with the goal of building the VALORANT Champions Tour that better represent the diversity of our community. The VCT Game Changers series will be a set of top-tier tournaments with large prizes on the line for the best performing teams. These competitions will take place all around the world, with the first one, of course, as you guys know, taking place right here in North America over this weekend. Sam, I absolutely love this initiative, and on top of that, I absolutely love the community feedback we've had over the last 2 days.
Oh, absolutely. I love seeing how involved everybody has been, and even the Reddits. Like, when you think of Reddit, you almost start to think of Twitch chat, and you start to think of like toxicity and like people just being awful and like get in the kitchen, lol, stuff like that. But the Reddit itself has actually been pretty wholesome. Most of the comments have been really supportive. Everybody's like, yeah, get it, girl. And I love to see it. I love knowing that in VALORANT, we are creating that safe space, but we're already leaps and bounds ahead of a lot of other esports. So this is a safe place, or moving towards being a safe place for women to get more involved. It's a fantastic initiative as well to just keep driving that home that yes, women have a space in esports.
And that it's now brought into this the limelight, right? It's getting the recognition it deserves, because I'm sure they're Galorants, right? That was already kind of pieced together a community that women could get together and play. And I would imagine even at the I guess anybody outside of that might not know what that is. Now we get to see it's on the VALORANT channel, it's on the Nerd Street channel. It's huge. It's in your face and you can't miss it. So I think it opens up so many more opportunities for women who were looking to get into esports, and now they kind of have a direction to go.
Well, the best part about all of this, of course, is our teams involved and the high level of competition we have seen. Yesterday, sadly, we did have to say goodbye to 2 teams, and not necessarily the 2 that I expected to go out at this stage of the tournament. That is, of course, our and TSM. Tana, you both were on the other stream, I believe, yesterday. So give me a breakdown of what happened over there and why the teams, ended up going out.
Yeah, so we had Cloud9 White and Dignitas to kick off the day for us. And that's obviously Cloud9 White just being, you see the clips here. This clip was the entire Ascent game. It was 1v4 clutches, 1v3 clutches, 2v3 clutches. You could just see the confidence it was pouring out of Cloud9. And I think that's what really that team can showcase. And then when you jump down to that lower bracket, I was so incredibly surprised that Dignitas, they battle back from a crushing defeat, quite honestly, as we've got some more replays here, and they get a 2-0 over Awa, who seemed to be a really strong team coming into this one, right? Taking a map, a very convincing map off of CLG Red, a team that's still competing in this one. They unfortunately fall to the lower bracket, then they make quick work of Watch This with a 2-0. So that Dignitas Awa matchup, I wasn't sure what to expect, but the Dignitas ladies, they were just fired up after losing.
I think we kind of expected C9 to come out on top in that first match. And we've highlighted this quite a few times over the course of the last couple of days, where we've said, they have the most experience out of every female team. They've played in a number of tournaments over quite a few months, so they are a little bit ahead of the curve, so to speak. But Dignitas, despite a disappointing defeat, managed to bring it back. And I kind of expected that they would have that sort of mentality. So they've lost the game, now we got to kick it up a notch, we got to put it into hyperdrive. And they did just that. And like the player that I wanted to highlight specifically was Rain. She performed so well, and considering that she was on the Omen, the number of clutches that she had, the number of multi-kills she had, she really showed up for her team. Her and Thea as well. Thea did so much on that Killjoy. So I think that team really did so much to just kind of rally themselves for that final game. And our they have some exceptional players. I was so impressed with how they played, but on the day and in that server, unfortunately, they just weren't at that same level. But I know that if they keep grinding it out, you know, very often you'll see a tournament like this and then teams will, at the end of the tournament, win or lose, they'll be like, all right, cool, you know, GG's go next, team disbands, and then they carry on and maybe slap something together for another tournament. I don't want to see that from any of the teams that didn't make it. I want to see each and every one of these teams stick it out. Keep practicing, because there will be another Game Changers. There will be more opportunities. Heck, I want to see them in VCT. Get some of that experience. Even if you're not getting to like the higher brackets or whatever, just keep grinding it out, because you have so much potential and so much talent. And if you keep working on it, then one of these days, one of you is going to knock Cloud9 off of their perch.
That's the thing, right? It's like anybody can beat anybody right now, and then Cloud9 will still win at the end of the day. So I really want to see a team challenge them. And with that in mind, let's take a look at today's schedule so you guys know exactly what is going to be happening and what is on this stream today. First up, it is that upper bracket final, and this is a tasty matchup. Cloud9 White versus Moon Raccoons Black. Black versus White. This is actually so fitting. One for the ages for sure. After that, we'll go to the lower bracket where Dignitas will be taking on CLG Red, and rounding the day off will also be bringing you guys our best of 3 from the lower bracket finals. Let's talk about Cloud9 White versus Moon Raccoons Black, Tanner, because we know what both of these teams can do, but Cloud9 White are definitely still coming into this as the favorite.
Yeah, and these two teams, I love to see it because they've done the exact same thing in Game Changers. Cloud9 have just done it better. They've just been a bit more dominant. We're seeing some games kind of get stripped away or get run away on for Moon Raccoons, and they do win those games, but it's, you know, the 13-10s, the 13-8s, the 13-9, so a bit closer. And Cloud9, obviously, just this freight train that somebody has yet to stop. So I'm really interested in this matchup, and I don't think the coaches get a whole lot of love in a lot of this. We have the player breakdowns, and so obviously Dream, the coach for Cloud9, is doing a fantastic job implementing that Astra, so huge. And for the Moon Raccoons, I feel like I can attribute a lot of their success, obviously, to the skill of the ladies, but their coach, who I talked about yesterday on the broadcast, Kevin Lilicious Lee, is a mastermind when it comes to this game. Just a plethora of knowledge. He was the tip of the spear for the Moon Raccoons when they were, or not the Moon Raccoons, excuse me, for Mamba Mode Gaming when they were running that tier 2 scene, and nobody could beat that. And I would imagine he took that same mindset, came into here with these ladies, and that's why they're looking so good.
Honestly, okay, so the first thing when I saw Black and White, the first thing I thought it was like Ebony and Ivory, because it's a banger. But I'm looking forward to this matchup because, as Tanner said, both of these teams have been looking so dominant. And just to illustrate that, they're both like on a 100% win streak, as in none of them have dropped a map. Not just like they've won all of their games, they haven't dropped a single map. Moon Raccoons, who got picked up, I believe, just before this tournament, have a 100% win rate on every single map that they've played. And one of those maps they've played 6 times. So those are fantastic stats. And Sue, I believe it was you saying to me a little bit earlier on, Cloud9, same thing, but they've only conceded 9 rounds over the entire tournament, which doesn't even make up enough to have lost a map. So these two teams are these like Goliath powerhouses of this tournament that are going to be going at it right now. And I think if any team is going to give C9 a run for their money, it's going to be Moon Raccoons. And I'm so looking forward to seeing how they manage to do that, if they manage to do that. Tana, I think you said you predicted that they'll take at least 1 map. I'm kind of there with you. I think they have it in them to at least take 1 map off of C9, if not win the whole thing.
Whoa, okay, I'm with you on the 1 map thing, but with the whole win the whole thing, I don't know. But we do have a graphic for you guys, some stats we selected to illustrate to you guys a bit of a head-to-head here. Sam, I know that you're really keen to make this comparison between the two Sovas. What are you seeing here from the stats between these two ladies?
So this is a really cool matchup to me because obviously they're both Sovas, so they're both about recon and getting information. But that doesn't mean that they don't frag out. If you look at those ACSs, 237 and 212, that is not something to scoff at. And in fact, ETConnect has more average kills than Annie does. And Annie is known for being an absolute fragger. So like these are some fantastic stats, and I kind of had my own stats specifically for these players. ETConnect is currently ranked 9th in the tournament at the moment out of every lady that's playing, with Annie Dro being at 3rd. So they're really close in the rankings as well. They're really close in multi-kills. Annie Dro gets 14 multi-kills, and ETConnect has had 13 multi-kills, and that's just not even considering all of the assists that they add. Like the Sova plays such an integral role, and I thought, you know, we've been highlighting duelists left and right. We're gonna give some of those support players some love.
And a lot of that average combat score comes from those assists, so it's not necessarily fragging out completely. You might have seen, I think it was just about 15 kills a piece, with Han being a bit higher per game. And yeah, the assists is what makes it. I was looking at some of the other stats for the other ladies in the tournaments, and they're upwards double digits assists on their Sovas, on their Sages. So that's huge. And this is my favorite part of the segment, is when I get to say, Sam, hit him with the stats, and then Sam just busts out all this knowledge, all the stats she's been working on. So yeah, I'm just excited. This matchup is one that I wanted to see at the beginning, and I'm glad that I get to catch this one firsthand on broadcast.
We need to implement a segment in the future when we do this again.
Yes.
That's just called Sam Stats. We'll just let you single cam, you go off, Queen, and give us all of the stats. And now, just before we reveal the picks and bans, because I really quickly just wanted to talk about this, Sam, because they share somewhat of a similar map pool, right, between these two teams.
Yeah, okay, so back to the stats. It's my time to shine. So Moon Raccoons, the one map that they haven't played at all has been Icebox. Now, this is something that you would think possibly C9 would want to exploit, but statistically, Icebox is C9's worst map with only a 20% win rate. So I'm kind of expecting both of these teams to just all out ignore that map. That map is not in the pool. It does not exist. And then I look at something like Haven, where Moon Raccoons have a 100% win rate on defense and a 92% win rate on attack. And they've played that map 3 times and 100% win rate, obviously. Over on Cloud9, their best map is Haven. So we might even see that in the pool as well, just because it is their best map at the moment. I mentioned that their worst map was Icebox, and also Split's a little iffy at about a 50%. So we might not see Split either. I'm expecting these teams to kind of work to their strengths a little bit more. So possibly a Bind, possibly an Ascent, maybe a Split is like a last resort, you know?
Thank you very much for that, Sam. Very interesting stats. Well, let's reveal the picks and bans now, so we know what is going to be coming up. And wow, I am extremely surprised, Tanner, because as Sam said, neither of these teams really like to play Icebox. So do my eyes deceive me? Will we have an Icebox second map?
That is, in fact, an Icebox second map, and it seems that's like the biggest coin flip of the tournament for me. You've got both teams, either one in Cloud9 not doing incredibly well. I think they're 1-4, 1-5. And then obviously on paper, Moon Raccoons, we don't have any competitive experience. And sure, they might be practicing it, but it's not necessarily the same, right? Those scrim bucks don't always matter, or don't necessarily pay the full bill once you get there. So it could just be Cloud9 saying, hey, we're not great on it, but we think we're better than them.
I mean, I'm hoping, from the track record even of what you were saying, Tanner, when it comes to coaching and those kind of decisions, that we're going to see something quite funky from Moon Raccoons on Icebox. As I was saying, we're going to head into game now. I'm really, really, really hoping and praying for a Viper, the two of you. I hope you're also praying with me now, but I am going to, it says Haven. Oh, my bad. Haven first map. I'm too excited about Icebox. I forgot that we're going to go into Haven. But that's enough from me. Take us away, Sam and Tanner.
Thank you so much, Yinsu. And Sam, there it is, the matchup we get to see right off the rip. Both the Sovas locked in for Han and Annie. Is there anything standing out to you? Anything that you're kind of raising some eyebrows at here?
Not really. If I look at the compositions that they usually run on these maps, it is looking pretty standard. Nothing has been changed up from what they've run or previously. But of course, the big wild card here, particularly for Moon Raccoons, is that they're coming up against the Astra. And we got to watch a couple of Cloud9's games over the last 2 days, and the way that Cat plays that Astra is devastating. She's so quick on the draw. She's able to get in and out of that meditative trance state very, very quickly, places those stars, gets an orb up, gets a gravital well up, whatever it is she's trying to do. She's really quick. So mid-round stuff doesn't become as dangerous. And we saw how much strategic depth they had in where they placed those stars. So if they're on defense, they'll place a star in a choke just in case there's like a full rush, so they'll grab everybody into the well. Even when they're on the offense, they'll drop a well in a choke in case the enemy team is going super aggressive to push out, and it gives them a little bit of an advantage, and it makes the enemy team start to second guess a little bit. So I've really been enjoying Cat's Astra, and that's what I think a lot of people should be keeping their eyes on as we get into this first round. But of course, the other person you want to be looking out for is Lori, because she is devastating on that Jet. So much clutch potential. Really, really outperforming herself in the last 2 days.
That Nebula is something that you are going to see for just about the entire game over towards that A lobby. Cloud9 do not like to give up this spot for free. They'll throw a couple of stars at it just to completely deter. And I would think that Moon Raccoons has sniffed this one out, and it's a shock dart kill to kick things off. So they've got the information that the Jet and the Sova are playing over towards A. And, I mean, they're just sticking to their guns here. 4 standing, and they're just going to send it over towards A.
I mean, this is why we highlighted Annie as well as Itnohan. Like, those shock darts are terrifying. Katie's going to be holding short here. Shoulder peeking just to see, can she get that kill? Oh, it's so close. Oh my goodness, what? The prediction from Katie there was insane.
And this is why she's got the highest ACS, right? In the entire tournament. Katie just absolutely insane. And it's not just the accuracy, right? She's not just shooting heads, but she's the prediction, the game knowledge. She plays the Jet. She knows where that dash is going to finish inside of that cloud burst. Now it's down to the last 2. Make it the last one. Flowerful on 33 HP. Able to get one. But Annie finds a nice little 3K there. And that was a really good start for the highlighted play here for Cloud9.
Absolutely. I mean, that didn't even come down to full-on tactical thought processes. That was just C9 go kill. It was really, really well played. That early shock dart kill, the lineup there to be able to get that all the way out here towards the spawn as well, really well predicted. And then, of course, when you see the smoke going out onto site, as a Jet player, you know immediately what the tactic is there. Dash into the smoke. Gives you a little bit of cover. But I think there might have been a recon dart or something. I gotta think that there was something, otherwise Katie is just terrifying. Her prediction to know exactly where Lori would be in the smoke and get that kill straight away. And at that point, you've dismantled the team. You've dismantled their attack, and that's a 1 round.
And speaking of dismantled, a lot of aggression shown towards mid, and it's actually bought out all of the utility here from Alexis outside of those blast packs. So no paint shells for another couple of kills. That boombot also used. So when you don't have armor and you only have pistols, that paint shell and the boombot can sometimes be hard to kill, as well as you take a whole lot of damage. So it's nice to have those off the board. And with that fake or that feint over towards B, they don't get A quite for free, as they're still playing towards the back of the site. And it is this Bulldog versus pistols. It is Katie versus the world here. Alexis able to get on the board, and Han on the flank. Unfortunately, not good for another, so only making it hurt for 1. But I thought for a second Moon Raccoons would find a plant. Unfortunately, they don't.
Well, this is the thing. I noticed this while watching back some of Moon Raccoon's previous games. They like to feint. They like to make a little bit of noise on a particular site and then just book it to another site. And I think C9 has a read on that. They obviously would have watched a little bit of tape, will have seen, okay, this is the strategy that they like to run, so we can't allow ourselves to be too trigger happy on our rotations. If we see a little bit of noise being made on a particular site, just be patient, wait to see, are they committing, or is it just going to be a feint? And in that previous round, they realized it's going to be a feint. They didn't commit until the push onto A site, and at that point, they got themselves into position, and they shut down the push entirely.
Another stack up towards A. You see both of those stars as soon as you... Okay, never mind. We got to pause at 2 seconds, so maybe something technical here. I was wondering, I thought I saw the barriers go down, which does happen right around this time, but then I was looking at the minimap and they're still set up, so a bit confusing on that, but it looks like another A push. You see the stars there, which can be incredibly telling at what Cloud9 want to do, but they just keep doing it. They really don't care. Even when they weren't trying to get control, or even if nobody was set up towards A, they expend those 2 stars over towards A lobby. It builds that baseline. It builds that habit. And I was actually reading something today that was saying when you're, playing defense, you want to be in the same mindset of your opponents, if not a better mindset. And if you show that you're not going to give anything up, or if you make it seem that they cannot find anything over this way, then they're not going to go that way. And that's exactly what those 2 stars do towards A. Even if A is completely free, you just keep throwing utility at it, and Moon Raccoons will have no idea that is a place that they can play at.
And the thing is, running the Rays as well, you've got a lot of utility to throw wherever it is you feel like throwing it. Those paint shells are so powerful, and there are so many small choke points. If you're throwing paint shells in garage, or if you're throwing them up in that rafter area, the doors across from B site, or even if you're throwing them into the, as you push out onto A site from A long or A sewers. I mean, there's so many places where you can get a ton of value for that. Less so on C, but then on C, you can easily put, we've got the Killjoy. So you got the turret placement there, which will immediately tell you if somebody's trying to push up C long, whether or not they actually push up there, but it gives you that early warning. So they, once again, C9 really do have this map on lock with just their positions. And you can even see they've got Katie on the B site, but she's not going to stay there. She's going to be a roamer, because the B site is possibly the easiest site to retake. There's just those 2 avenues to come in, and the site itself is so small and kind of claustrophobic that it's fairly easy to come back in and take control of it once again. And that's why you see most teams will set up on towards the A or the C sites, and then of course have someone in garage. So Katie will be moving back and forth depending on where her team needs her at any given time. They have such a good setup here, and I really want to see what Moon Raccoons will be doing. I believe this is a technical pause, because it has gone on. I think it was mentioned that this was a technical pause. So a little unfortunate for something to be going wrong right now for these teams. Hopefully they can get it sorted out fairly quickly, because it's just started, and now we're on the first buy round. So Moon Raccoons, oh yes, time is going back. So Moon Raccoons full buying. They've got tons and tons of rifles, which is exactly what you want to see on round 3 after losing the 2 pistols. Now, can they convert that into a round win?
And that's the big question. Again, it is that giant nebula. It bodes that question of, did somebody push up sewers? Is somebody close into lobby? And okay, I love to see this, that they're not just letting A be the place of no return. We don't go over there because they keep throwing those stars this way. They actually fight for that information and for that space, and they get a whole lot of it. They know that nobody's coming this way. That drone is going to spot one, and it spots the Sova, so you can really assume that the rest of the squad is right behind it. Obviously, we can see that the squad is right behind it. And this is a spooky spot with the curveball queued up. Art going to go out for the information as well. And it's a close range where the Spectre starts to pop off, and Alexis is showing us how to do it. Finding 3 and stunting this push. It's all down to the last here. A 4K and a flawless round for Cloud9 as Moon Raccoons are sent back to the lower economy.
And again, we saw, so this time around, Moon Raccoons didn't feint. They committed A early, but still C9 didn't rotate until they realized that they actually had to. We get that first kill towards sewers, and that's when they realize that this is when they need to start moving. And then we see the paint shell. So it didn't actually get value, it didn't hit anybody, but you can see the trajectory for it, how Alexis could have been able to get a ton of value. But instead, she opts to use her rifles, which that works too. Yeah. and now Moon Raccoons are forced to save once again. Not full on. They will be buying out some sheriffs here. We know how dangerous sheriffs can be. The one tap potential is phenomenal, but of course they do need to hit those shots. And the players, their headshot percentages are kind of in the high 10s as in 18, 19, 20. They're in their teenage years. They got a bit of growing up to do. So we'll see if they can make something happen here. They got to clutch it out a little bit if they want to win this eco.
And with that being a flawless round for Cloud9, it's a bonus. Going into this 4th round, they didn't have to force anything up. So when we get back to rifles in round number 5, even if they drop a round, they're going to be good for the next few because of the economy that they've built up. So absolutely huge. And when you're talking about economy, you cannot forget the ultimate. 6 kills on Alexis means she's 1 away from the showstopper, and Katie finding 5 in the first 2 rounds means she's right next to that Blade Storm. So when those come online, it's going to make it seem a whole lot less doable here for the Moon Raccoons. Is Mel going to swing off the turret? I mean, that's just textbook Killjoy right there. Flowerful is able to pick one up over towards C. Unfortunately, the site's not free just yet. As Katie holding it down, Vandal in hand, able to spray down one, dashes away, and Annie is there to back her up. Although they bump into each other, it doesn't matter. It's the massacre towards C site, and it's a near flawless for Cloud9.
C9 are so composed. They will not be fooled. We saw Moon Raccoons edging towards that B site. It looked like that was potentially where they were going to push. They suddenly double back, head through garage, straight through onto that C site. And C9 is just waiting. Katie is just waiting. And again, I spoke about how she was going to be that roamer. We saw at the start of the round, she was kind of on the B site. She moved over towards the C site as the round continued. So they leave it open and wait until they need to rotate. And then they spring depending on what they need to do. So now we get into round 5. And again, this is where you can see a lot of changes in momentum. This is generally, if a change in momentum is going to happen, it's usually around round 5 when both teams have rifles. It's fairly evenly matched, but it's not so evenly matched because, of course, we do have Hunter's Fury and Bladestorm online for C9 and only the lockdown for Moon Raccoons.
Not a bad ult, especially if they are going to continue to posture up towards B. It does completely clear the site for the most part. I would imagine Cloud9 don't give it up for free, even if that lockdown comes through. As Alexis able to find that spray down, Showstopper now online. Gravity Well going to try and suck in one, and the wall bang not going to find too much, just a bit of damage. And Lori actually finding a couple of kills on some rotators. That's going to be the ult now off the board for that raise, so things aren't going to be as explosive. Though Katie's still alive, Katie's still on full HP. No, Lori finds a nice 3K, but Annie continues to battle back. And it's all up to the Killjoy, who does have that lockdown available, but working against 2. And the Hunter Shuri would easily sit it down. Flowerful picks up what needs to pick up the next imposter down as Moon Raccoons get on the board.
That was really well played. And again, that's kind of why you see the spike get placed in that particular area, so that you can pull out of the B site and have eyes on it. You can kind of swing back and forth and give yourself a little bit of cover. And we spoke yesterday at quite length about why it's so important to move together as a team so that you can swing on one another. And C9 rely a lot on their individual fragging ability, so they weren't really together. And of course, they got split up just given the way that the map works. There would have been quite a long rotation to get all the way around to the other side of the map, and that worked very much in Flowerful's favor. And it helped that she was able to clutch it out with full-on headshots. But now, Katie has an operator on the board. For now, she's going to be down at that C long, but again, we've seen that she can do that, play that roaming jet, so we might see her move from place to place as needed. Still has the Bladestorm, and now there's that Showstopper that you were talking about. So a lot of powerful ultimates online here for both of these teams, in fact.
It's not the easiest thing. Okay, never mind. What I was going to say completely goes out the window with this Hunter Shuri, but hey, we'll take that. Cat can be the first to fall on picking that one up, showing the skills and the utility as Alexis continues to hold it down, this time over towards A Link. And again, A's not free. If you look to make a play that way, Mel just swings off of that turret setup over towards A long. So it might just be another B hit. There's a star right in front, which might slow things down for a minute as that dark cover comes through. Curveball not going to find the flash just yet. The hot hands to try and stop that push. And Alexis is holding it down. Now Hunter Shuri actually used, picking up a kill onto Lori. The lockdown now, that is where I thought we'd see those Hunter's Furies used. But instead, Flowerful still hanging on to that one, and it could be what turns the tides of this round should she find a decent spot to put it down.
Again, there was great prediction there from Annie to be able to get the Hunter's Fury kill while Lori was in the air. Oh my goodness, the Showstopper gets nothing, but we get the operator kill from Katie onto Diana, and it's a 2v4 situation here for Moon Raccoons.
At 2v4, and you saw the ideas there. Katie just going absolutely huge with the knives to top things off. And so my thought process was you drop the lockdown, and when Annie Dro uses her Hunter Shuri to take the lockdown out of question, then you use that Hunter Shuri in response, right? So it'd be lockdown Hunter Shuri, then Han answers back with the Hunter Shuri and tries to guess where Annie is shooting from, because you can kind of see that sight line, although it's pretty difficult. Everything was used. Anything to take down the lockdown was used, and Flowerful just wasn't in a great position to put it down. So that one is one that you definitely wish you could have back. But coming into this one, round number 7, there's still 4 ultimates online for Moon Raccoon. So if there's ever time to use them, it's right now.
Yeah, I mean, that was a pretty expensive round for C9 White. They used every ultimate they had available to them. So this time around, they're still going to have rifles. And Moon Raccoons, again, on that kind of janky buy this time around because they've lost a few rounds. But they still have those ultimates. The question is, do you invest them? Because, again, that makes that an expensive eco. Do you want to invest that kind of utility that takes time to get back up? If you see yourself winning the round out, sure, absolutely. I mean, you could get so much information off of the run it back that might help you clutch out the round. But do you throw in all 4 ultimates? That would be a huge misplay. I want to see how they utilize these ultimates to give themselves a little bit of leverage to potentially, if not win the entire pistol round or eco round, at least get a few kills to put somewhat of a dent in C9's economy.
Well, here comes a fast hit as the blades are used. Lori going to find one to kick off the round and open up this A site. Now, with this is telling me, Sam, that this is looking to be an expensive round for the Moon Raccoons. That spike goes down. Now, they have a whole lot of time to play with, and they don't have to use that lockdown right away, but they do need to be careful where they choose to use it because Cloud9 will just run right at it. And it is going to go down over towards short. Katie just dashing right onto the side, trying to take the fight right to him. Only a couple more seconds to get it done. All 3 corralled underneath heaven. They're trying to escape the detain, and it's all up to Diana, who's on the flank, finds the first kill. Now just needs to play with the time. Katie on low HP. Oh, it's going to swing. Nice curveball to just buy some time. Finds 1 kill. Not able to find the next, but might have done it. And there it is. And he doesn't have enough time to get it. They use just about everything there, but it gets him a round win.
That is massive. They weren't able to destroy the lockdown as much as they were able to wipe out almost all of Moon Raccoons. They couldn't find the lockdown. So 2 of the players get detained towards A short. And when you're stuck there and there's still 1 player left alive, she's not able to clutch out the round and get those last 2 kills and completely secure the eco round, having, taken all of those guns off the board. But she still wins the round for Moon Raccoons because the time gets bought out for so long. Now, however, I mean, yes, it put a bit of a dent in the economy. You can see C9 White not looking as flush as they were before, but they still have an operator on the board. That's going to be KT holding it down in C-Long still. Moon Raccoon's got to keep an eye out for that, but at least they are able to buy up this round because that was an excellent round for them, and it does allow them to full rifle up as they start making their decisions as to where they want to go this time.
Diana playing inside the nebula. Now, Diana has quite possibly one of the most interesting crosshairs, so I went in and I did my due diligence to figure that one out for anybody wondering. It's inner lines 1145, outer lines 1112. As that run it back gets used. Ooh, vulnerable due to that gravity. Well, they try and find the kill on Katie standing right inside a nano swarm. Will be A-OK. Just going to be sent back to the ultimate. We go 1 for 1. Across the board, and Mel lower on HP, so not really able to take these fights through the smoke, though, able to drop the spike down. Now Diana has to look to push on through. It is going to be picked up by Han. Lockdown now used. Couple of curveballs still available. We'll see if that hot hands can deter these guys from trying to push any further, but Diana just has nowhere to go, forced to reload. And Cloud9 find themselves or find a way to put themselves in an advantageous position once more. The op shot just a bit too late. Staring down the barrel were 3 Cloud9 members, and Han still alive and still doing damage. Able to spray down another, but the paint shells from downtown, the little bouncing Bettys. Net a 3K for Alexis, and Cloud9 push themselves to 6, and at the very least secure an even half.
That run it back was so massive. It could have done so much because not only does it get the gravity well activated, which doesn't do much because you're in run it back, so even if you're vulnerable, it doesn't matter, but it also activates the nano swarm, which again, you're in run it back, so it doesn't actually matter. So that takes out a lot of the utility on the way through garage to C, but they weren't able to capitalize on getting all of that utility off the board, despite the fact that Lori was able to take down Katie and get the operator in her hands. At that point, C9 had already taken down a lot of the Moon Raccoons players, and it was quite easy to get that last little kill onto her and take the operator back. And now Moon Raccoon's forced it onto yet another save round. It's not looking good here. They've had some shining moments. They've had some strategical thought processes here, but I want to see how they convert that into round wins. They need to start playing this a little bit more. I don't know. I want to see them get a bit more explosive. Oh,
It's way too hard to get explosive against that operator. They do get some damage onto Katie, but she's able just to take her leave back to the A site where Alexis will be able to back her up. Hydro also on that side. And you're really just hoping that maybe hurt the economy, do a bit of damage here for Moon Raccoons. You'd love to get a spike plant, obviously, to help boost that economy. There's one kill to come on through, and Flowerful has been absolutely huge for this squad thus far. Leading in kills, now finding another headshot with the Sheriff. Mel, gonna try and keep this weapon so far out of reach, but now 2 guns down. It's Han on the inverse finding that, and here it is. There's the spike plant. They've got a few weapons to their names, and Katie's on low HP. There it is again. Flowerful sits him down. I was going to say low HP on the op doesn't matter, but Flowerful comes up huge as they try and take the fight right on the site now in a 2v1. Flowerful needs to keep doing what she's doing. The paint shells go through the spray down onto 2. She falls at the end of it all, but Moon Raccoons get the round.
Flowerful insane in that round. Not only is she able to get those clutch kills with the Sheriff, but once she gets the Vandal in her hand as well, she just carries on. There was a 4K in that round for her. I said I needed explosive, maybe not necessarily going in hard and fast, but just doing something to shake up C9's confidence a little bit. And for Flowerful to have been able to get that kill in the short time between the initial paint shell burst and the smaller shells getting the kill, fantastic work there. Everybody dead at the end of the round, but the spike firmly planted will get them that round win. And again, I mentioned Katie being that kind of lurking sniper player. She was on the A site at the start of that round. Now she's back in Garage. You never know where she's going to be, and that's keeping Moon Raccoon on their toes.
And she gets hit by the worst bit of tactical shooter timing there. Has the shot on target, but unscopes at just the wrong time and goes for the no-scope. Unfortunately, not going to find that one. And for anybody wondering as to why we're not seeing Jazzykins here on Haven on the Rays, unfortunately having some internet issues, apparently. So, I mean, Alexis is doing a darn good job. You know, it doesn't really seem to make a difference. You can see just the cohesion in this squad. Everybody able to work together, even if a wrench is thrown into things. Now, what makes me sad is that Moon Raccoons are able to find those thrifty or eco rounds, and I do love that, but they need to do more when they have these rifles as a full squad. Lockdown online, Hunter's Fury online. There's not a whole lot to answer unless the showstopper or the paint shells are used to try and destroy the lockdown if it's put in a bad spot. So, Flowerful not only needs to have, you know, the aim, but also the brains in this one. And
nice.
It's Lori with the aim this time around. Going to go up top towards Heaven. Make sure this isn't a safe passage for anybody for Cloud9. Alexis holding this one, and Lori still finds the kill on the site. Flowerful found another. Cloud9 down to their last 2 here in the 10th round. It's an operator in the hands of Katie. I believe a Bucky in the hands of Katsumi. And Katie just going to look to save this one. Oh my
actually,
God, what a shot.
Actually manages to get a call out there. This was really well played from MRB, and I want to just highlight, so at the start of that round, you get the recon bolt, which is specifically designed to distract whoever is on site.
Yeah.
As soon as she turns around to shoot the recon dart, you see Lori dash out, get the kill while she's distracted, and then get up into Heaven, and immediately they have full control of the A site. That was masterfully played. And then as soon as anyone tries to trickle onto the A site, you've already got every single angle covered. And then you've got Flowerful, who was lurking from the B site towards the A site. Now it actually forces C9 to have to save up. This is a fantastic opportunity for Moon Raccoons because they're full rifle and it's an anti-eco.
It was a gamble towards A where Cloud9 have been playing fairly light in some of these rounds. Although on this eco, they are going to use that Blade Storm showstopper used, but not going to find too much either. Just the information that Sewers is clear. Flowerful tried to trade some damage, and with the Sheriff in hand, Lexus still quite scary. Katsumi there to back her up. Only 2 stars, which means Katsumi didn't buy any in this round. So you could see really where that economy is sitting. And the Astra not going to get a whole lot of value here in this one. As a quick hit towards A turns to a pretty quick hit and rotate back over towards C. And it looks to be retake. And Flowerful might be able to get some information or at least some value here in through Garage. As that Hunter's Fury looks to deny for now. Oh no, it's actually Han shooting that Hunter's Fury to try and grab the information as to where they're coming through.
Mm-hmm. Oh!
This is interesting. This is where it gets spicy, right, Sam?
Oh yeah, the Cosmic Divide comes through here, and we know that... What? such good utilization of the Cosmic Divide there to make sure that you're cutting down the lines of sight, you're cutting down any sort of information that can come through. But the lockdown's coming through from Flowerful in this 1v3 situation, and no, she can't clutch it out. Oh, I can't believe they invested that.
And the best part, obviously, that Cosmic Divide does so much, splits the map in half. The team, even if you have the best communications, you can't back each other up because you can't shoot through it. But then on top of it all, you really can't hear anything. Everything is muffled, so you have no clue where that spike is at, if it's halfway, if they got off of it, if they're back on it. And at the end of the day, insult to injury, they're able to get the last ultimate on the board for Moon Raccoons. They take away that lockdown. That hurts.
Very, very unfortunate there. Now they're coming in with, well, just guns. That being said, like, I saw that Lori popped the knives as well, the Blade Storm, but she wasn't able to get any kills off of that either. So it was a little bit of an unfortunate, very, very expensive round for Moon Raccoons, especially considering that it was an anti-eco, and they still lost the round. So yeah, not a good look. But now again, we're back onto full rifles. No ultimates online just yet, but we've got all those Astra Stars available once again. They were able to buy up quite a few more of those. So now Moon Raccoons, they're starting to play a far more patient game. They started out patient, and they've just kicked it up a notch. They're waiting until they get some kind of information before they actually do anything, which is a reasonably good strategy. But you have to remember that you are still playing against C9, and there they're going for that feint. They made some noise on B, and now they're going to start moving over towards the A site with Flowerful on that lurk towards B.
And could be huge on the lurk. I don't know if that boombot was designed to try and get into the pocket there or shoot down towards mid. Either way, it didn't see Flowerful in that corner. I wonder if they have some bit of information, because Katsumi did use one of those nebula smokes to make sure that nobody was pushing on in. It's only going to be Annie Dro, who really thrives in the 1v4, so not a scary spot. She is forced to back away for now as the site gets taken. The spike going to be planted in an interesting spot. It's not over towards default. Quite out in the open as that shrouded step get away underneath heaven. Nobody can spot that cross from Panini as they push through the A-Link. And it was, yeah, Flowerful actually getting caught out there. So now no flank. Nova Pulse going to find this done underneath heaven. Lori in a bit of trouble. Toss out the Cloudburst to try and survive for a bit longer. Spots out too, able to spray him down. Now it's down to a 2v2. Low HP on the Omen. Drops down to Panini. Still finds the kill. Lockdown going to be forced. Why not? It's the last round of the half, and Mel needs to go huge. Diana going to flank here. Flank for flank is what it takes for Moon Raccoons to go 7-5 at the half. And Sam, I mean, they're really giving Cloud9 a run for their money.
Well, we said it. This was the team that was going to do it. And that was such a good call out. So Flowerful gets taken down. And of course, it's because they knew that she was going to be there. That, again, it's kind of becoming their MO. Make some noise on B, move to A. Flowerful lurks through B. So then instead we have Mel moving through B to take down Flowerful to stop that lurk in its tracks. But as soon as that happens, we then see Diana move towards the B site. Now, of course, that is a dangerous decision in and of itself, because you're already one player down on your team. Now you're abandoning your team to pick up that lurk. But it worked out so well because Mel was not expecting her to come from behind. She was expecting her to come from long. So she puts the lockdown down, she checks long, goes for the defuse, doesn't realize Diana's right behind her. It's like that meme, teleports behind you, nothing personal, kid. That's pretty much exactly what just happened there. That was a fantastic round win, and Diana seriously clutched that one out. Now, of course, we swap sides, and like you said, the scores are so close. Like, this can still be anyone's game. And if I remember correctly, yes, C9 won the first 4 rounds in a row on this map, on the first half. So now, again, the pace gets dictated by who will win that very first pistol round. So if Moon Raccoons want to start to turn this one around, I'm going to be looking to see, can they win that pistol?
And that could quite possibly tie him up, right? You're not expecting a force if you lose pistol. So if Cloud9 go down here in this one, we could, again, be seeing one of the closer games here in the bracket against this Cloud9 team. Now, I noticed quite possibly my worst case ever of Caster Curse, and I shouted out Diana's crosshair, and in that last kill, it was changed. It wasn't the same crosshair.
No way.
I can't say anything. Everything that I touch dies, so I need to just keep my mouth shut on anything, because as you guys can see, is quite clearly switched it up.
has she changed it, or have we just changed? No, I thought it was maybe like a specific crosshair for observation, but then I see they are different. She's actually changed her crosshair. You did it. You destroyed her. Like, what? Well, to be fair, it did give her a bit of a power up because she clutched out that round.
Yep, and kicked off this one just as she finished the last. Is going to be traded back, but 2-for-1 favorable as Annie gets on the board. And we're not done yet. The massacre towards A site will ensue. Down to the last. Annie Dro, who's been clutched so many times in the past. Unfortunately, just a bit too patient on those shots. Han going to take down her counterpart. The ones that we hyped up here go toe-to-toe at the end of that round. We said it. If they win the pistol, they could quite possibly tie us up at 7s here, Sam.
Absolutely. Do you know what? Okay, so just back to the crosshair thing, because I love metaphors, but it reminds me of like the Rock Lee thing. You know, he like drops the weights. This was like her level up. She needed to change her crosshair, and now she's just going to absolutely pop off. That's my prediction. But now they're coming into this next round. They are able to get some Spectres on the board. So that's going to at least give them a little bit of firepower. Of course, they do have that gun advantage. It's not much, but bearing in mind that if they win this round, they'll of course come into the next round with a gun disadvantage. So it's a very difficult, precarious position to put yourselves in. But of course, you still do want to win that round. You want to even up the scores and give yourselves a fighting chance.
Paranoia bought out there as they toss down to smoke into garage. Shock darts. I mean, that is Annie's MO right there. Finding a shock dart kills on this Sova. Continuing to, I think that's her 3rd or 4th in this match alone. And a lot of chip damage down on Telori as well. So these pistols could get quite a bit of value. Now, I might be getting ahead of myself as the drone gets information on 2. And shell's gonna be used. Diana through the smoke, able to find 1, find 2, find 3, and Flowerful closes it out. And Sam, you cast her, bless the woman.
Bless up. Oh man, fantastic round there for Moon Raccoons. And yes, they do tie us up, and this is huge. So this gives them a lot of momentum. But now, again, there's potential for momentum swing because C9 White are going to be coming into this round with full rifles. Yeah. Assuming they all buy rifles. Yes, they do buy rifles. Katie, okay. I had thought for a second maybe Katie saves so that she can get the operator. But no, she's just going to buy up. In fact, everybody does. Okay, good. That's good. I'm always watching out to see if somebody starts saving up to try and get an operator on the board, because that definitely changes the planning for any one of these teams. It changes the flow quite phenomenally. So now, as we get into the first gun round for Cloud9, this is when we start to see what their actual plan is coming into these rounds. And immediately, is that a gravity well? Oh, but it didn't get anything because at that point, Moon Raccoons hadn't pushed up long. I think they're expecting Katsumi to be dropping those wells.
Wow. And, I mean, they are just full force W key onto the A site. I thought maybe just to bait out some of that utility. But, nope. They dash on in. Katsumi going to be able to get that spike down, working towards that cosmic divide. On our 5v5 retake scenario. That run it back was used, I believe, across the map for some information, because it was available this round for Diana. Now, it is not. As they wait. Maybe they're waiting for a dart here. They don't really have a way to get information. As the hot hands go through to clear out the corner, that should get a whole lot of value. Lexus gonna find the first kill, cut down to 18 HP, and the kills are traded right back, dropping from heaven. We find ourselves in a 2v2, making a 2v1. Diana's done it before. Can she do it again? It's against the rifles. Instead, it's Mel to push Cloud9 ahead 8-7 here.
I love that gentle lull moments before that, like that calm before the storm, moments before there's a big push. And we saw the gravity well come through right towards the back of A, that kind of link that takes you to the defender spawn. And C9 didn't push. They kind of baited it out. Then the gravity well comes through. As soon as the gravity well comes out, that's when they burst through onto site. And they did that really, really well. They took up good positioning. And of course, they had Mel and Annie swinging on each other. So a lot of good kills came through there. And they managed to win out that round. And now I said it, that was a dangerous round. That was a potential momentum swinging round. So now we bring the score up to 8-9. And C9, do they continue with this aggressive push? Because that was a very, very aggressive first attack onto the A site. So much so that we've still got 2 players stacking towards the A site this time around. There's only the one. There's going to be Itnohan on C that's going to be locking that one down. But this is C9 making a feint of their own. They send the drone down C. But again, Moon Raccoons not taking the bait. And I love to see that. Teams not being too trigger happy on the rotates, waiting to see, is this actually what's going to happen? No, it's not. C9 looks like they're going to be going for the A push.
And already some chip damage as well onto Han, who was playing over towards, or on that C site rather. and toss out. So it's a tough spot. It was a recon bolt early in the round. Han just sent out another one just to get that information. And now they won't have it should they need it for this retake for the next, 30 seconds or so. Or Cloud9 seem to be waiting for Annie. As a couple of shock darts go out to try and clear short as they push up from sewers. Right to the smokes they go. Imposter down as Flowerful will fall, but it's traded right back. Now Katsumi able to get on the board. Struggling in kills early in this one, but we know what that Astra brings to the board. Shock darts gonna find the tag. A little bit of chip damage. She walks right back into it, not expecting the second. That's the spike down. They've only got 15 seconds to work with. But do they go for the spike or do they go for the kills? It's going to be the kills as Panini needs to buy some time and is doing just that. Now the spike looks to get planted. Annie able to get that one down. Shrouded step onto the site. Does she know where Panini went? She heard the noise, but it doesn't matter. Panini skyrockets up the scoreboard and ties us up once more.
Such a good defense there from Moon Raccoons. And the thing is, like, that shock dart onto that plant position, on that default position, that's telegraphed. Yeah. Most Sovas are going to do that. You kind of have to expect that at this point. So the biggest problem was that Katsumi was so low HP. So those shock darts hit, and she's gone. She's down for the count. And that denies, and that takes her off the board as well. So unfortunate there for her to get taken off so early on. But Moon Raccoons had such good positioning in this post plant, and Panini really showed up. That shrouded step, instead of jumping down from heaven, which she very easily could have done without taking any damage, but it would have put her in a very, very dangerous situation. Instead, she teleports down, plays Ring Around the Rosie, and manages to secure that win. We're going to start out this round with the Blade Storm from Katie.
And Katie obviously leading in frags here on Haven. So it's scary, right? If you see it, say it, and maybe quite possibly get away from it. As that lockdown gets used this time. Clear up that B site. Completely open and nothing to answer, unfortunately. No Hunter's Fury. And you don't have the paint shells. You don't have anything really too explosive. Maybe no lineups for the shock darts as Han. Deep on the flank. Spike is planted, but look at the post plant. This is so interesting. It's all over towards garage, and this is not where you would expect it to be. Katie, the only one on site, but maybe the only one that matters. Curveball comes through, tries and clear it out. Katie finds one left click is all it takes. Looks for some more. The right click goes wide, and Lori cuts her down. Divide was used, but Cat just doesn't have a whole lot going for her. Now a 2v2. As Mel picks one up with the Nano Swarm. They're running out of time. They have to try and send it. Somebody just has to stick it, but the kills come through. They only get it halfway. And Mel goes good for 4 here to reclaim a lead.
Oh, she just wasn't able to get out of the blast explosion there. Another fantastic round. I like how they used the lockdown to try and clear out the site. But like you said, the post plant was a really weird one. It might have been a bit better to possibly split up a little bit more, because it forced them to have to push through that B site. Now, I had seen the Blade Storm come through from Lori as well, but for it to have gotten so much value by taking Katie off the board and giving them a huge opportunity to then potentially try and get that defuse. But you didn't account for Mel. When Mel's still alive, there is every opportunity that she's going to clutch that one out with a 4K to bring it home. Now, we still have Hunter's Fury and Showstopper online yet for C9. And again, these are fantastic ultimates for trying to clear things out. We also know that the lockdown is available for Moon Raccoon. So as you've said a few times, you can use that Hunter's Fury to shut down the lockdown to make sure that it doesn't stop you from pushing. Or you can just use the Hunter's Fury to deny the defuse. It really will just depend on, does a Flowerful decide to use that lockdown in this round? Or are we going to need to use that Hunter's Fury to shut down the defuse?
Yeah, and it could also be used like that trap card. The lockdown goes down. Annie looks to take it down with her Hunter's Fury, and then Han answers back trying to find Annie, who is shooting her Hunter's Fury, who has to be stationary, and it is kind of telegraphed. So that's obviously, I think, a lot harder to do than just shooting at the regular defaulted plants or, diffuses for both sides attacking and defending. So you do see a push coming up towards C. Completely vacant as they get that spike down. Alexis going to be the one to plant. Already has that showstopper available, so don't want to waste any time there. Dart going out towards the back. Annie swinging up on 2. It's an eco round, though. It's only pistols, and Diana is able to find an upgrade. Will heal with the hot hands, and the Frenzy able to go good for 1, but Katie cuts down 2. It's a round we expect Moon Raccoons to lose, and that is exactly the case. as Cloud9 White find double digits.
I actually love that double lurk towards C long just to give yourself a little bit more security as you push through that site. But like you said, it was the anti-eco. We didn't really expect that to go anywhere. They didn't commit too much into it. And finally, we're seeing that operator on the board. It's going to be for Lori this time around. I want to see where she sets up. I want to see if she plays the kind of the lurking jet like we saw from Katie earlier on, or if she kind of picks a perch and that's where she is. For now, however, we can see she's setting up in that C short area. She's probably going to push through sewers, try and get an early pick off. Oh, but she's a bit slow.
And the Boombot gets the information that somebody might be playing down there. Now, they might not be expecting to. On tosses out that Hunter's Fury, trying to find anything, and unfortunately going to go wide on that. And that is, it's not too telling, right? You shoot that over towards A, expecting to slow things down, and Katie's already got all of this ground, and quite possibly, probably not the person you're expecting to lurk. As you can see, Flowerful completely caught off guard, swinging around those boxes on that A site, and the rest of the squad just bringing up the rear towards C. It's not free. You do have Panini playing down this way, and he did pick up 3. Winning round in a clutching round, but instead will concede that site. This time, not a 5v5 on the retake, though. Moon Raccoons already knocked down to just 4 players.
That Hunter's Fury to try and clear out sewers to make sure that there's no one down there. So even when Katie got the kill on the A site, they knew that it wasn't going to be an A hit because there wasn't anyone moving through sewers. So they knew not to make that rotation. But now the spike has gone down over towards the C site. Moon Raccoon's going to play this a little bit more slowly as they try and make their way onto site. No lurkers this time around. They don't actually know that, but it does mean that they have a little bit of respite. Gonna invest the run it back there for some information.
Yeah, and finding the kills. Oh my god, Diana goes huge, and Alexis, the last one standing, will fall. I don't know how they just got it done. That was the Diana show on C.
And we've seen her really, really show up in these clutch moments throughout this entire series. And I mean, I just want to point out that C9 has conceded 9 rounds, which was the total that they had conceded for the entire tournament. Yeah. Moon Raccoons have doubled the rounds that they have conceded in this tournament. If there was a team that was going to push C9, it was going to be this one. And this is super, super exciting. And they're even forcing C9 to have to go with like a really janky buy. Where on the upswing or the other side, Moon Raccoons get to full buy, and of course they still have that operator available. And like I predicted, Lori has moved to another spot with the operator, and she gets the opening kill onto Katie, who had the Blade Storm. That's massive.
Absolutely huge. They do still have the Hunter's Fury to work with, but yeah, it's the eco round the Blades needed to get so much, and through the wall, Diana continues her reign of terror. Panini finds one onto Mel, and if you were hoping to win a thrifty round, this is not that round. Cloud9 down to 2 players just outside of Garage. Annie knocked down to 1 HP, and Kat is there to back her up, but just not long for this world. Sam, we are going to be knotted up at 10 here in just a moment. There it is, a flawless round, which means no buying going into the next, and that economy is sitting pretty for Moon Raccoons.
I mean, the most they'll have to buy is, of course, their abilities, which, like, it's a drop in the bucket. They're turning into trust fund babies. They've got so much cash yet now. Oh, but Katie is like, it is on like Donkey Kong. She's now got an operator of her own, and she's going to take that battle right to Lori. And not just Lori, of course. We have seen how powerful she can be on that. It doesn't matter. Anybody that walks into her crosshairs, they're going to get taken down. That's the plan anyway. Let's see if it actually does work out that way. And this time around, we're actually seeing Lori towards the C side. So again, really fluid. I wonder if she pushes out C to try and stop a push. Like to see if they are pushing up C, she can get a kill. Alternatively, she can get some information as to where they are kind of pushing already. I'm seeing she's got a very aggressive stance already where she's standing. So we might see her push out a little bit. And for the rest, I mean, even looking at Flowerful, she's got all of her utility on A, but she's not actually on A. She's getting ready to rotate if necessary. So you've got all of that utility there to make sure that if anybody pushes in, they immediately get the information and can slow them down. But she's able to play closer to another site if she's needed, because they've got the 3 stack on C, which means the rest of the site isn't as locked down as it could be.
And that's fairly textbook. You'll see the aggressive op push down C long, somebody there to back it up just in case with the rifle. And they might be thinking, Mel comes for this orb. There's no reason why she wouldn't. She's one away from that lockdown, which is an absolutely huge ultimate to have, especially when you've been losing the post plant in the last couple of rounds when it was rifles v rifles. So I don't think it gets too much because of the way that Cloud9 is set up as we start to come out of this pause. But at the very least, you can see, you absolutely love to see the cogs turning for all of these ladies here on this server. That push does come through. Both recon bolts going to be exchanged. Nice little Venn diagram across mid. Not going to find any information, but hey, lack of information is still information. And we could see a huge flank here. The turret will always get that info, and Diana is in such a great spot. And I'm not going to say it, but I noticed something green in the middle of Diana's screen, and it looks very familiar as she cues up a curveball. This is a very important round.
I think she's trolling us at this point. She's going to keep changing her crosshair. But there's that aggressive push down C long that I kind of expected. And I really love this because flanking with an operator is wild. But I think that you can get so much value out of it because it's fairly unexpected. They're pincering in towards C9, giving them that kind of false sense of security.
The turret is set up, but it didn't see them creep
Might
up.
be out of range.
Okay, there finally spots one on the flank. Lori biting off a bit more than she could chew there, and that hit over towards B has since commenced. The spike has made it up onto the site, not yet planted. Flowerful playing off. They're trying to hook around over towards A, and is free for the most part as the kills start to flood on through, though. Nothing else is going to be free. No rotates for you, as it's all up to Alexis and Mel. They do have that spike. They are down a player from the shadows available. If there's ever a time Mel finds a huge kill to grab that lockdown. Doesn't need the ult orb, just the kills will do. As a dark cover gonna buy some space, buy some time. Alexis has the angle. They look the wrong way, and Panini once more up towards heaven. Finds herself in a 1v2 clutch situation. If she wins this round, Cloud9's economy is going to be in shambles. She doesn't peek the corner once more, and Alexis goes big with the 3K.
Oh man, there's nothing worse than seeing a player not check that corner. And I get it, like you're in such a high pressure situation and there are so many possible places where that person can be. There are so many angles you need to check, and sometimes you just check the wrong one. And it's super unfortunate to see that happen twice in that round. I must say that the turret catching out that lurk was massive, because Katie didn't even realize that Etnohan was there to take her down. Didn't even see her up in that rafter area. So to take her down so early on, and then immediately the pressure comes through from Moon Raccoons, but C9 just once again being on top of this offense. And now they have the Showstopper and the Hunter's Fury, and another Hunter's Fury, in fact, for Annie. I mean, she has been so good this entire series, and all Moon Raccoons really have to work with is the Shrouded Step, which kind of nice for baiting, I guess, but it's not one of those like high impact ultimates. And then of course they've got the lockdown, which could do a lot, particularly in like an attempt to defuse, or if they're trying to deny a plant. But again, you have to time that so perfectly, and you still have to be aware of the Hunter's Fury.
What I do think we might see as the turret gets some information over towards A is that from the shadows could join the team almost immediately. And there it is. It just gonna send it. Oh, gets the information actually that they are committing to this site. Now the rest will join. The flank though, in mid, it's going to be answered. Mel pushing on up. Doesn't spot Diana. Diana finds a kill, and Han grabs another. This is looking perfect for Moon Raccoons. Looking to make it a flawless retake, as Annie is only on the Bulldog. Even in winning that round, the economy was hurt, but both playing underneath heaven means it should be an easy swing and an easy spray down, as once more, we are all knotted up, this time at 11.
I love how Moon Raccoons have started to read C9. Things like expecting them to lurk and expecting where that lurk is going to be. They knew that Mel was going to be trying to push up through that B site. So to be standing there in wait for that perfect opportunity, Diana once again just coming in clutch there to get that quick and easy kill, bring the numbers in their own advantage. But that being said, we've now got another 2 ultimates on the board here for Moon Raccoons. Like you said, they use that Shrouded Step for a little bit of information. Now that they've got the Run It Back, which can also get a ton of information, and even better if you can get a kill off the back of it. And then of course the Blade Storm. Now I hope they won't invest it into this, because it is an anti-eco. We have seen them do that in the past, but Oh, yikes, Katie. They read you like a book.
Yeah, that is a huge kill. Operator down, and Katie wants more. Trying to find some damage down onto Han.
No, you don't.
Diana in the same spot, gets the same value. Finds a kill, able to sneak away. And you said it. Run it back online. She didn't have to use it there. Now she can if she wants to just run on through that grass area. It looks like she might just save it for the retake. A lot of utility on the opposite side, though. You do still have the paint shells. You've got the satchels to boogie your way onto a site with that ultimate. And I'm waiting for that cosmic divide. Winner pushes this map to map point. This is the furthest we've seen a Cloud9 game go. And for some, a Cloud9 series, right? 13-0, 13-0 is only 26 rounds in 2 games. And we're just around the corner from that. Is that cosmic divide. It does get used. It is going to be a C take. Now, it was used to take the site, which means it will go down eventually, and there will still be time to retake.
30 seconds left.
I'm just wondering if somebody picked up that operator after Lori went down. If somebody on Moon Raccoons picked it up, or if they've just left it there. Because I don't think C9 would have been in a position to pick it up. So if it's still lying on the floor there, it's a little bit dangerous. But now the spike has gone down. And this is still a really good round for Moon Raccoons to turn around. Because as we mentioned, it is the anti-eco. They're going to invest to run it back though, despite the fact that it's an anti-eco. See if they can get some information, maybe get a pick off or 2 out of it. Because it's essentially an extra life.
And I mean, you've got the information now. Site's completely clear. They all have to be long.
Oh!
A huge kill with the showstopper. Katsumi able to get on the board with the sheriff, but the spike is halfway. They get the information. They're just going to try and stick it. Panini ducking her head, and she gets it done. It's a team ace, but everybody dies on the side of Moon Raccoons.
Match point.
What a good round for C9 White. That was the eco, and they still managed to come out on top. Yes, they invested some ultimates into it, so it was an expensive eco, but they, like, that was an important round. So now Moon Raccoons, oh, sorry, no, Moon Raccoons win. I'm being silly. Now we're on that match point, and this is the most terrifying situation for C9 White to be in. They haven't been in this situation for this entire tournament. If they lose this round, that will be the first map that they lose. So they've been able to buy up this round. They saved in the previous round, which was the recommended course of action. But they aren't able to buy very well. So they don't have fantastic guns here. They need to make a lot happen. No ultimates, no good guns, and they're coming up against a Blade Storm and a lockdown. This is a Herculean task for C9 White.
And they're gonna take it slow here. Ori holding this angle as the Blade's online. It's the last round of regulation. As Cloud9 look to grab some information over towards A. Now, the end of that round said Team Ace, but Moon Raccoons won. And there's no way that they could have gotten a Team Ace. So that was incredibly confusing because I believe Cloud9 got the Team Ace, but lost the round, which usually it doesn't give you that that indicator, whether it's a clutch or a thrifty. They don't usually give it the other way. So I sense the confusion.
Oh.
No confusion there. Katsumi picks one up with the Spectre. Will back away. Lockdown gonna be used. And Cloud9 have been taking the fight right to him as it's been used, but Mel should be able to take this down. And okay, so it bought the time, whether she destroyed it or not there at the end. It was basically just running down the clock. And Diana in a 1v5 needs to go absolutely bananas, looking to clear just about everything. Blaze Wall to go on up is gonna look to stick, but it's just the firing squad. No time bot. And we're moving to overtime.
You cannot afford to get complacent in those clutch rounds when you're trying to win it out. And that was a round win for C9 with a really janky buy. So that's something that Moon Raccoon shouldn't have allowed to happen. And now, like you said, we're on overtime. They're going to be swapping sides back and forth. They're only going to have 5,000 credits. We are unlikely to see an operator because that is a big investment. And these rounds are just way too important to... I don't want to say throw, but like it's a risk, and you don't necessarily want to take that risk when if the enemy team wins 2 rounds in a row, they win the entire thing. So very unlikely we're going to be seeing that. And of course, if you buy the operator, you're unable to buy any of your abilities. So we'll only see that if by some miracle one of these ladies is willing to take a massive risk. For now, however, we've got Moon Raccoons back on the offense. We can see if C9 can hold it down here. They had a pretty good defensive round in the first half. Do they manage to continue that now?
Looks to be a garage push. Diana was feinting up towards B, but decided otherwise. They actually skirt around that alarm bot as well. So that doesn't get information that anybody's pushing up, and they might just get this backstab on Cat. She's completely looking the opposite direction. They spot her out. No trigger discipline. Tries to send it as Panini gets taken down. That's the spike down all the way towards Long. Unfortunately, Mel, not long for this world. She was pinched from this C site. Diana queues up the hot hands, has a curveball to work with coming out of this dark cover, is going to do just that, pushes Cat away and able to secure that kill that she tried to start earlier in the round. Now with the spike planted, Moon Raccoons, one player ahead, no ultimates on the board just yet. Nobody invested that heavily in kills or alt orbs to have that, so it's just going to be the gunfights, and Diana, she usually wins those. The hot hands, oh my goodness, able to find a third kill, but Alexis goes huge to grab that one inside of that Molotov. Now a turret and 3 members to worry about. A shock dart to go through. A nano swarm now running out of time. Annie just has to do the unthinkable here. We've seen it done before. That next nano swarm gonna buy so much time. The recon bolt for the info, and she actually just has to stick it here. Does not have really anything left in the tank. Those shock darts gonna sit her down. Moon Raccoons grab the first round here in overtime as they look to deliver the first loss to Cloud9 White.
What a good round there. Annie's so close to catching that one up. But in a 1v3, and it's all the way down Long, and you're a Sova. You don't have smokes. You don't have anything to really help you with. And, of course, the Nano Swarm helped to tick down the time quite a lot there. There was just no way. Oh, my God, it's happening. I talked about what a massive risk this would be, and it's actually happening. Moon Raccoon are so confident right now that they can win this out, that they're foregoing any and all abilities. No cloud bursts, no nothing. It's just gonna be that operator, Lori versus the world. Can she make it work though? Because this is a really, really important round. No, she goes down right away!
That hurts the soul. That hurts the soul. Is the swarm grenade just gonna buy some time there? The cloud burst and then a quick burst from Cloud9 to take this A control. They're looking to push us into double OT. That's Flowerful. Maybe looking to play contact off the turret. He's going to be playing towards short. She actually spots the leg of Katie, able to spray her down, trying to keep composure for another. Katsumi going to be the benefactor of that one. The curveball actually somehow, someway flashes Alexis on the swing, but Katsumi completely coming online here. The overtime warrior, as we see her go galactic to set some stars down. Now, if you push through this A-Link area, you're definitely going to get stunned, or you're definitely going to be hit with that gravity well. And those nano swarms buying so much time. Recon Bolt is online. Paranoia is queued up. Cloud9 White in the driver's seat here. A 3v2. There goes the Paranoia. They spot out Cat, but Han jumps down too early and gets tagged by it. An absolute worst case scenario as Katsumi goes huge. A 4K to push us to double OT.
Oh man, and there again you see how powerful the utility from the Astra can be, because just the threat of that star, because when you look at it, you don't know what it's going to be. So just the threat of it being there is enough to make you go, all right, I'm not pushing through here. And so you go all the way up into heaven. And I don't know why she didn't drop onto the boxes first, because you can get down from heaven and not take any damage. And because of the blind, she moves a little bit too far to the right. So even though she's shooting in the right direction, I think that wall was in the way, so she's not able to take down Katsumi. And there's a round on the board once again for C9. We even this up, and like you said, double overtime. And this is so scrappy between these two teams. This is the first team to take C9 into overtime. Like, this is monumental for a female team in the scene right now. This is massive.
History being made with this Moon Raccoon squad as Flowerful trying to get some early info, maybe find herself on the lurk this time around. And in that last round, Katsumi doubled her kills in the games. And it was the last round of regulation and a 4K, I believe, in that last round of the overtime to push us to double O, where she went absolutely huge. And I mean, kills don't mean anything unless they're those impact frags, and she did a lot of it on 20 HP. Diana, the first to kick things off, though. Nice little wallbang headshot onto Alexis, which typically means there's not a whole lot going on towards A. It's usually that raise, sometimes a killjoy, but with no turret set up, they're not too worried about it. The hot hands go through, and unfortunately, Diana, 2 members to worry about. They spot out Cat, but Han jumps down too early and gets tagged by it. An absolute worst case scenario as Katsumi goes huge. A 4K to push us to double OT.
Oh.
Diana, Getting caught with the ability out means she can't shoot. Now Flowerful looking to get the lurk,
30 seconds left.
looking to get the value, and does just that. Mel was ready for it, but Flowerful comes out on top and has the shot. A 4v3, so still winnable on either side, but the spike is planted, and Cloud9 need to make a move. The Nebulas go through. Paranoia as Katie finds the imposter. Katie finds another onto Han, drops on down, dashes away, and Cloud9 are getting it done. Flowerful has the utility, but needs to go ginormous. In a 1v2, the Cloudburst is sprayed out. Katie grabs a 4K. She's got it halfway, and she's got the round.
That was insane. The body block there to make sure that Katie doesn't get taken down while she's trying to get the stick. She gets the halfway, swings off of the last kill there, gets that last one, and manages to get the defuse. I am so in awe of these women right now. They are performing out of their minds. And what makes the overtime so difficult is you're constantly kind of being thrown from pillar to post because you go from attack to defend, attack to defend. It's very difficult to build up your ultimate. You only get like 50% rounded up of your ultimate, so 3 out of 6 or 4 out of 7. So you need to get kills, or you need to be able to get those ult orbs. So we'll very rarely see the ultimate. So it just comes down to those gun battles and how well can you outthink your opponent. What? Or apparently how well can you spray through a door.
2 rounds in a row where Diana has found a wall. This one a lot more miraculous, but found a wallbang on Alexis to cut the numbers down for Cloud9. That's not stunting the push. Mel just gonna go right on through with that Nebula smoke. Has a whole lot of room to work with here. The alarm bot gonna be brought back. Unfortunately, no turret. Not brought back just yet. Danny trying to set up a crossfire here. Mel in a nice position to catch anybody coming outside of window, or maybe catch the top of their heads. Diana the first to hop out. He still finds the kill. It's traded as Annie finds 2. Now the odds completely even. The information is there, and Annie's cut down to 70 HP. And who better than Katie to start to close it out in double OT? Cloud9 will find the first map win.
Good lord, that game was way too close for comfort for either of these teams. I cannot believe. I mean, we said it in the pre-show. We said if any team was going to push Cloud9, it was going to be this Moon Raccoon squad, just purely based off of the statistics of the fact that they hadn't dropped a single map throughout the entire tournament. They just look so good. And bearing in mind, this is the team that won the previous VALORANT League. So they came in first place. So they have been around for quite some time. They've got a bit of competitive experience there, and they're putting it to good use. We spoke about how a lot of these teams will have an advantage because there's so much tape on C9 White. And again, I think this is just yet another thing that they put to good use. You spoke about the coach, somebody that worked with
Mamba Mode.
Mamba Mode. I kept wanting to say Moon Raccoons. Worked with Mamba Mode, so clearly very experienced in the scene, has a lot of input. And C9 White have a coach of their own. Obviously, we spoke about both of the coaches earlier on, but it comes down to there is so much tape, so much to analyze on C9 White, and Moon Raccoons remain a little bit of an unknown entity. So they have pushed C9 to the very brink. They weren't able to win out this first map, but I maintain my prediction they will take the next map. It's gonna happen, and I'm super keen for it.
Yeah, the next map is going to be Icebox, and both of these teams look a little shaky on it. Now, Moon Raccoons, the first team to take Cloud9 into overtime, but Cloud9, the first team to deliver Moon Raccoons a loss in this one. Guys, I think everybody needs to take a deep breath, take a chill pill, and hang out for a second. We're going to jump to a quick break. When we come back, Kinsu's going to help break down this series.